So we're now talking about a case here on Daf Mem Chesam and Beis of two people who are walking in one place. Shneim Rishus. Let's say it was a Rishus Rabbim, for example. They both had rights to walk there. Or let's say they were both partners in a chotzer. Or let's say the Baal HaChotzer gave Rishus to Shimon to go into his chotzer. Oh, Shneim Shelo Rishus. Well, for example, they were running through Rishus Rabbim, with the exception of Friday, which is a no-no during the week. Or let's say Shimon enters into the Chotzer of Ruvain illegally, without permission. Hiziku zed zeh chayov. If one was mazik the other, he has to pay damages. He has to compensate him. Even in a case where he was mazik him without kavanah. And this is based on a Gemara that we learned back on Daf Chavav, that Adam Muad Liola, even without kavanah, even b'shogeg. Now, in the first case, Shnei Bershus, that's pretty clear. If they both had rights to go there, then each person should have been choshe, should have taken into consideration that the other person would be there. Or, for example, the Baal HaChotzer gave Rishus to somebody to come into his chotzer. He knows that the person is coming into his chotzer, and therefore he has to be very careful not to damage him. Now, in the case of Nichlas Shelo Bershus, if he went Shelo Bershus, he had no right to run through Rishus Rabbim, for example, then he has to anticipate that somebody else might enter into Shelo Bershus, just like he did. Somebody else might run through Rishus Rabbim or illegally enter into the Chotzer of Reuven. So therefore, Hiziku Chayov. However, Huzku Zebazeh Pturim. What did it mean, Huzku? That it was a case of Nitkal. Not that Reuven hit Shimon, but that Reuven banged into Shimon. So in this case, Shimon doesn't have to pay damages to Reuven because Shimon is not a poshea. The Nizak, in this case, Reuven, who banged into him, he should have been more careful. So the Gemara explains, Taima, the reason why both of them have the same halacha, the same status in halacha, whether it was b'shus or shelo b'shus, is mishum d'shnei b'shus or shnei shelo b'shus. Aval echad b'shus v'echad shelo b'shus. If one person was walking through Rishus Rabbim, the other one was running through Rishus Rabbim, or one person was given the green light to enter into the Chotzer of Reuven and the other was not, is then the Bershus Hotu. The one who had Rishus to go there, he was walking gently through Rishus Rabbim, slowly. He doesn't have to pay for damages. And what does that mean? He doesn't have to pay for damages. Whether or not it was hiziko biyadayim, again below kavana, as we said, or is huzak memela, like nitkal, he doesn't have to be choshesh that somebody else is going to be there shelo b'rishus, because he had rishus. It wasn't like, practice what you preach. But shelo b'rishus chai. Okay, now we go back to the Mishnah. Nofal leboro vehivish meimav chai. So Shimon's shor fell into the cistern of water of Reuven, and as a result contaminated the water. He has to pay damages. Omar Ravalo Shanu. When does the Mishnah say that the Baal HaShor, who contaminated the water of Reuven, has to pay for the loss of the water of Reuven? Ella kishehivish v'shas nefila. Let's say the shore was very filthy, full of soil, dirt, or whatever you call it, and fell into the bar and contaminated the bar. Nislachlechu amayim. So again, in this case, where the shar was mazik begufo, yochayev. It's not bar. But if first the shar fell into the bar, and then subsequently, stage number 2, T2, it damaged the water of the bar, potter. My timer havi shar bar. The shar itself now becomes a bar. That's the chiddush of Rava. Umayim kalim, and the status of water is the same as kalim. It's an inanimate object, and therefore it's kalim. And bar is potter for kalim. Lo matzidu shebar bar shechai bos hakelim. Gemara says the following: Hani Shmuel, I can understand what Rav is saying if you're like Shmuel the Amaliel. Shmuel says, Adav chav chesam in beis, kol takola barhu. If a person leaves a takola mishzarab, and that's called a bar, even though he was not mafkir the takola, then I understand Rav. Here too, he's not chayiv on the Maisa Shor, unless you want to apply bar, but bar is part of a kela. So this is all a reflection of Shmuel's shita that kol takola bar. El Rav Diomar demafkile. You're not chayiv for bar until you make it hefker, and that means that if you didn't make it hefker, you're not chayiv for bar. Is Ma'ikal Meimar? How we can interpret Rava? The Bala Shor was not mafkir the Shor. So therefore the Shor cannot be Chayiv Mishum Bar, according to Rav. You can only be Machayiv Midin Shor, and Shor is Chayiv on Kalim. So why then does Rav paskin that the Shor doesn't pay, the Rav paskin that the Shor doesn't pay for the Mayim? So therefore, the Gemara is forced to reformulate Rav in order that he could be reconciled with Rav. He adds the word mi recho, and it seems like what happened was that the shar, because it fell into the bar, died, and the carcass, the dead carcass of the shar, gives off a foul odor. And as a result, it sort of penetrated into the water, and the water is not drinkable. But the Baal HaShor doesn't have to pay for this damage to the mayim of the Baal HaBor. Why not? My time a groma bi'almahu, groma bi'alma lo mechayim. So the loss or the damage to the water was not done directly, what we call biyadayim, behezek biyadayim, but rather through groma. It means that the shar died, and then as a result of its nevela, of its carcass, it created a certain sirachon that comes automatically. So it's groma. Then the Mishnah says, if let's say the shar fell into a bar, and inside the bar was the Baal HaChotz's father or son, and the Baal HaBor we're talking about shor, not bar, sorry. So the Baal HaShor has to pay damages. Now, what damage does he pay? Well, this is the case for shor that killed a person, so you pay kofer. Frek the Gemara v'tamhu. We said that a tam is not chayav tashlume kofer if it kills a man. Only shor amur is chayav kofer, which means that it killed 3 men. The Gemara answers, Amarav b'muad lipol al b'nei adam b'boros askina. We're talking about a case of a shar that on 3 occasions, over and over again, fell into a bar and killed someone inside the bar. We should have put the shar to death. How could it be that this shar, time after time after time, killed a person? Already on the first round, that the shar threw his body into a bar and killed a person, he was chayav skila. And even shar tam that kills a person is chayav skila. So how do you get to 3 times? After the first time, he was put to death. And the Gemara answers, Amar Rav Yosef, we're not talking about a shar that was muad to throw his body into a bar and killed on 3 occasions, but rather the chaza yerokov and nafal. The animal saw that on the outskirts of the bar there was grass growing, and the animal was tempted and desired to eat the grass, and it came so close to the sfas habar, and it fell into the bar, and it killed a person who was inside the bar. In such a case, we do not kill the shar, because this is a case of shalom kavana. We discussed already in the past that if a shar kills a human being accidentally, he's not to be put to death. And therefore, on the first round, he's not going to be put to death. On the second round, he's not going to be put to death. But on the third time, then, although we can't put the shor to death because of shalom kavana, but the Baal HaShor has to pay kofar. Now here we have a note that I wanted to share with you. And he says the following. Hareu kimo shehemis odom b'shein v'regel shemishalem kofer af she'en ashor niskal. So if an animal kills a man while it's walking, inadvertently, the shar is not going to be put to death. But nevertheless, the Baal HaShor has to pay kofar. Now, you could have argued that this case is not really a told of shame, because the animal did so on 3 occasions, and it's darko b'kach. So what is this? Is this keren or shame? So the answer would be that for an animal to throw itself into a bar and kill somebody, that's keren. That's mishuna. That's lav urche. But if he does it 3 times, it becomes urche, and he's chayav mishum shein. And this is told of shein, and his kavanah was for his own unknown. Shmuel is going to offer an alternative answer. Shmuel Omar, the Mishnah is talking about a short time. So why do you pay kofar? Mani Rabbi Yossi Aglili the Omer Tam Mishalim Chatzi Kofar. This is the sheet of Rabbi Yossi Aglili that if a short tam kills a person, then you pay Chatzi Kofar. Just like if he damaged the person, you pay Chatzi Nezek. So instead of paying a full kofar, he pays half the kofar. Ulamar Ula has another teretz. You're right. Shmuel is right that our Mishnah reflects the Shita of Yossi Aglili. That a short tam pays Chatzi Kofar. But nevertheless, argues Ula, our Mishnah would hold that the shar pays Nezek Shalom. Why? The Omer Karbi Tarfan, the Omer Keren B'Chatzar Nizak Nezek Shalom Mishalom Ochinami Kofar Shalom Mishalom. Rabbi Tarfan was the one who says that even in a shar tam, who normally pays Chatzi Nezek, that's only in Rishus HaRabim, but in the Chatzar Nizak, he has to pay Nezek Shalom. And just like he pays Nezek Shalom for damages, then he pays Kofar Shalom if he kills a man. Frek the Gemara Bishlema Ula. I understand according to Ula, the last of the 3 answers, that he pays a kofar shalom because he killed someone in the Chotzer Nizak, and we're going like Rabbi Tarfon. Hainu diktani. Now I understand. Haya aviv o beno, the father or the son of the Bala Chotzer was litocho, was inside the bar, and they had rishus to be inside the bar because the father and the son get rishus to do so. So therefore, it's Chotzer Nizak. And if it's Chotzer Nizak, then according to Rabbi Yossi HaGlili, you pay, according to Rabbi Tarfon, you pay Nezek Shon. Elo Shmuel, but according to the interpretation of Shmuel, that the Mishnah is talking about paying Chatzi Kofer, is my area of Avivu Beno, Afilu Acher. No matter who the Shar kills, you have to pay Kofer. So why did you mention Aviv O Beno? And the Gemara answers, Urcha de Milsa Ketani. Okay, generally speaking, that's what happens. Another person who's not part of the family, he's not going to be in the bar of Reuven. It's either his father or his. Now, the Mishnah had established on Baf Mem Zayinom and Beis that in Hichnis B'Shus Balachotzer Chai. And Rebbe Omer Eino Chayvat Sheikabel of Lishma. So again, the Machlokas Chacham and Rebbe about whether there's a tacit Kabbalas Achrayus or not, or a Kabbalah Shmira or not. Itmar, we learned to the base Medrash, Rav, Omer Hilchsa Ketana Kamu, Shmuel, Omer Hilchsa Rebbe. Who do we accept? Do we accept the sheet of the Tanakama? Says Rav, we do, and therefore the Balachotzer, by inviting someone into his chotzer, he tacitly accepts upon himself achrayas to be shomer that person who came into his chotzer. And Shmuel says, no, we pass like Rebbe, unless he says explicitly, I am obligating myself to shmira, then he's not chad. Tana Rabbana, we learned to the Brisa. The Balachotzer says to the Balashar, Reuven says to Shimon, Knos Sharcha Ushmaro. I want you to watch the Shar. Hizik, Chayim. If the Shar of the Balabayis damages, if the Shar of the Machnis damages the Shar of the Balabayis, Chayim. It means that the Baal Ashar took upon himself achrayus of shmir, and therefore he pays damages. Huzak. But if the shar of the machnis of Shimon was damaged, let's say the shar of the Baal Abayis of Reuven attacked the shar of Shimon, the Baal Chotzer doesn't have to pay damages. Why? Because he said to the Machnis, you are in charge of Shmir. But if the Baal Chotzer says to the Baal Ashor, Knos Shor Chamani Yesh Merenu, so he explicitly accepted upon himself Shmira, then Huzak Chayav Hizik Potur. If the shar, right, he said, Ani Ashmerenu, if the shar of Shimon the Machnis gets damaged by the shar of Reuven the Baal Chotzer, then Reuven has to pay damages. But Hizik Potter, if Shimon is allowed to bring in his shar, then even in an event that his shar was mazik to Balbayis Yirpot. So Gemara says, I don't get it. Hagufa Kasha. There's a stira him in Eubei in this price. From the Reisha to the Sefer. Ahmed, you told me in the Reisha, Knos Sharcho Shmaro. He's a chayav who's a potur. Time until Amalei Shmaro. It's only because he said explicitly Shmaro, and that's why Chayav Balashor Upotu Balachotzer Hastam. And the implication is that if the Baal Chotzer invited someone to bring his shor in, but he did not say to him explicitly that he'll watch his shor, is the implication here that he's makabel on himself, meaning the Baal Chotzer, shmira, and chayav Baal Chotzer, poter Baal Shor. Divistama makabel leina tirusa. So this reflects the sheet of the Chachamim against Rebbe that there's a tacit acceptance of shmira. Good. So that's the ratio. Now let's look at the Sefer. Amos Sefer knos shor chavani yeshmerenu only because he accepted upon himself explicitly to shmira, who's a chayav, he's a part to time of the omelei ani yeshmerenu, who that's why he's chayav. M'chayav ba'al chotzer part to ba'al shor. Hastama, the implication is that if the Baal Chotzer did never say, I accept Shmira, then Chayav Baal Shor, Potter Baal Chotzer is Potter. Dimistama, we assume in a case of Stama, that Lo Makabel Leina Tirusa. V'yasin l'Rabbi, it's only Rebbe who said that there's such thing as a tacit Kabbalah Shmira. Diyomachi Kabbalah Leina Tirusa Shabal Vais Lishmar. Is Reish Rabbanan v'Sefer Rebbe? Omer Rabbi Elazar Tavra Misha Shanazu Lo Shanazu. Rava says no. I have a better answer. Kula Rabbanani. The entire brisa is Rabbanan. The brisa in the Sefer says that the Baal Chotzer said explicitly there's makabel achrayus of Shmira, which means that Mistomi is not makabel achrayus. Which means how can you say it's Chacham? And that's Rebbe. Is Aydin Nosiv Reisha Shmaro Tana Sefer Vani Yeshmeren. So it's an agav. You know, the brisa mentions in the Reisha that the Baal Chotzer said explicitly is makabel Shmira, and therefore the brisa decided that even in the Sefer it's going to tell us that the Baal Bayis explicitly accepted Shmira, but it's lav daf. And even if he didn't say explicitly, he's makabel Shmira because we're going like the Rabbanan. A third teretz, Rav Papa Kula Rebbe. The entire brisa reflects the sheet of Rebbe, whereas Rava said it was all the Rabbanan. Now it's saying, according to Rav Papa, it's all Rebbe. This several look Rabbi Tarfon, the Omar, Rabbi Tarfon back on Daf Chav Dalet, Karen B'chotza Nizek, Nezek, Sholim Mishalim, Hilkach. Omar Leif, the Baal Chotzer says to the Baal Shor, Shmora, you watch your shor. What he means is, Lo Mikni Le Mokum B'chotzer. I'm not going to give you this chotzer for your ownership. And therefore, Havile Karen B'chotza Nizek. It means that this chotzer is exclusively in the bailus of the Baal Chotzer. The Baal Shor has no bailus. So therefore, when there's an agicha of the Shor, the Baal Bayis, it's Keren B'Rishus HaNizak, because the Baal Chotzer never gave him Rishus. The Keren B'Chatzer Nizak, according to Rabbi Tarfon, is Mishalim Nezek Shalom. Lo Amar Le Shmaro. However, if he didn't say that I will watch, but rather that you should watch, meaning he only gave him Rishus to enter in, and now we're going to Chachamim that there's a tacit, implicit acceptance of Achrayas, Aknuni Akile. He gives him a Makom B'Chatzero. And therefore, Avalei Chotzer HaShutfim, B'Keren B'Chotzer HaShutfim, Eina Mishalim El Chatzi Nezek. And because of this distinction, the Brisa mentions in the Reisha that the Baal Chotzer said Shmaro, and therefore the Baal Shor pays Nezek Shalom. And this leads us to the Mishnah, 4 lines up before the end of Daf Memches, Amid Beis, where Mitzvah Shem will pick it up tomorrow. And we're trying very hard to catch up after missing yesterday. Okay then, so I wish you a great day. Thank you so much.